What is up, everyone? Welcome to Galaxy CDs, Rocks, and Flips. I hope this finds you well and staying safe and healthy. If this is your first time into the channel, my name is Ryan, and I am a full-time reseller working out of my home here in the Bat Cave in the greater Cincinnati area. And this channel is all about the flip life. In today's episode, this is my weekly What's Sold from Galaxy CDs Rocks eBay store recap. We'll cover, I got a pretty good list of stuff today that's gone out, and a couple of quick programming notes before we get into all of that. Number one, if you'd like to listen to this on the go, these shows are generally made available as podcasts, and they're on probably virtually any podcast platform you can think of. I think I'm on 13 different platforms, so whatever your podcast player of choice is, just look up Galaxy CDs, Rocks, and Flips, and you can listen to this show on the go. The second thing, about 5 weeks ago, I started doing the Tuesday 2-minute tips videos, and consistently, week in and week out, it is the least viewed, least liked, least commented on video, and also the least listened to podcast I do on a weekly basis. Given the stresses on my time and the results of that particular little video, I think I'm going to stop doing those. If you're getting value out of those in comments, let me know, and maybe I'll try to integrate that into something else. But to just do a standalone video for that, it just doesn't seem to be of much interest to anyone. So I'm going to stop doing those. So the last episode, which some of you watched, thank you very much, that was on Tuesday, will be the last of that as kind of a standalone show. But let me know in comments if that's something you'd like to see, integrated into maybe these weekly recaps or into something else, if you got some value out of that. But I don't feel like devoting the time to that is the most productive use of my time asset at this point. So that one is going bye-bye. And with that, let's dive into some of the stuff that was productive this week. This first item, this just is one of those things that, here's a 2-minute tip. You buy a bulk box of books or a truckload of books or whatever it is, and you're sorting through it and you come across these old catalogs. These were all from the 1970s. It was like Gander Mountain, Brookstone, Bill Boatman. It was a marine store. And they're just kind of mixed in with all these books. And I don't know if most people would really even look at them twice, but I lotted these up together, put a price on it of $15.99, free shipping, and somebody bought them. So old vintage catalogs sometimes bring surprisingly good money. I sold a Christie's auction catalog several months ago that brought really good money. So if you get these lots of books and you get some old magazines or catalogs in them, they might be worth taking a look at before you just toss them on the scrap heap. But this was a real nice little flip, 16 bucks. We're going to get into a few CDs that were in that big lot that I did. We'll probably be talking about these for months to come. To be fair, there's probably 3,000 individual CDs that I'm going to list over the coming months. I'm doing something like 30 a day, 4 or 5 times a week. And at that pace, obviously, it's going to take me a long time to get them all listed. This first one we've got went for $19.99, free shipping. It's an old 1993 promotional release for a band called Tad. If I remember right, they were kind of part of that whole kind of Seattle grunge movement, and they never really got as popular as some of the other ones, but they do have kind of a diehard fan base. This was a promotional single for a song called Leafy Incline. But the cool thing about this one was, and I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, it had a otherwise unreleased track that was only on this promo CD. Hence, a CD that was sent to a record store for free brought $19.99. Next up, FYP, Dance My Dunce on Recess Records. I think this is an old punk record. I wasn't familiar with these guys, but the comps were pretty good. I had one that was in really good shape. Listed it as very good. It probably could have gone as as like new. 20 bucks, free shipping. This was a really nice sale. And again, this is more promotional stuff. So like I said, be on the lookout for these things. Both of these were from the band The Mayfield 4. The first one was a 4-track sampler. I had one of these earlier that I think I showed. It sold for $14.99. So that's a pretty nice flip. I also had a copy of this really rare promotional from Epic Records. It was a live performance from the Mayfield 4. That one went for $50. This person bought both of these in one purchase. Didn't make an offer, just bought them straight up at my listed price. So $65.98 with free shipping. Still cost me just $280 media rate to ship. I think I upgraded this to first class because the guy bought both of them, but it was $3 and some change to ship. Real nice sale. So again, be on the lookout for those promo CDs. I know not everybody wants to mess with CDs, but there is definitely some money to be made there. Now we're going to get into some of the other media that you know me so well for, old books. This one I wasn't sure was really ever going to do anything. Roy Rockwood's Under the Ocean to the South Pole was from 1907. Was in pretty decent shape. There was not a ton of demand out there for it. I was surprised given its age that it wasn't worth a little more money, but it did bring $15.29 with free shipping. This next one is it's called The Love Bridge by Mary Imlay Taylor. About 2 weeks ago, I'd been negotiating with a guy on some books for weeks and weeks and weeks. I was offering him about 60 cents a book, which is way more than I normally pay for a big lot of books. The books, it ended up being 170 some books. And he was holding out for more money. They had a garage sale and tried to sell them again themselves. And I think he only sold 2 or 3. So he sent me a message back and he's like, you know what? You're right. We give up. Your number is probably right. Nobody wants these books. So I went up and I got them. I paid the guy $100 for what ended up being 170 books. And a lot of them, they're all in that. I think I talked about this maybe last week or in my podcast, in that kind of early 1900s through mid 1940s range. And a lot of them have dust jackets and they're all in pretty good shape, but they're not necessarily the most desirable genre. There's a lot of old romance, some Westerns. So I was a little hit or miss on whether or not they were going to do well. This is one of the first ones that sold from that lot. It's a 1926 hardcover romance book, brought $19.99 free shipping. So I was pretty pleased with that. Here we are again with some old religious books. This is 3 books, Joshua, Judges, and Ruth, hardcovers from I think it was a 1960s era or 1970s era Anchor Bible. This was a set I bought at a sale. It's been a couple of months ago now. It looked at the time, just based on how many of them there were, that it was a complete set. And as I got to doing more research when I was doing the listings, it turns out it was probably less than half of the complete set. So I've started to sell them off now individually or in lots of 2 or 3, depending on their value. In this case, it was 3 books. They went for $20, $25, but this was plus shipping. So this was pretty nice. Julia Neal, By Their Fruits. The Story of Shakerism in South Union, Kentucky. This is a book from 1947, hardcover book about the Shaker Society in Kentucky. Was part of an estate sale of books that I got. I may have 50 cents or 80 cents in this. It sold for $20.39 with free shipping. Again, old college textbooks. I've talked about these before. This one is from 1928. Chemical Lecture Experiments, Non-Metallic Elements. This one really, this was exciting. I'm joking. Really nice condition. This came from the same lot. If you remember a couple of videos ago, I had another old like 1920s or 30s era textbook that was in really good shape. This is from that same batch. $29.90 free shipping. Again, old textbooks, if they're in good shape, man, they're definitely worth taking a look at. They're not fast movers, but they bring pretty good money, and you can generally get them super, super cheap. I think I got less than $1 in this. Another of the romance books from that lot that I just mentioned, Rob Eden's Honeymoon Delayed from 1937. hardcover with a dust jacket intact. Was actually in pretty decent shape. The 1930s style artwork. I had this listed, I think, for $35, $34.99, or best offer. I got an offer of $30, free shipping. I own it again for 60, 70 cents. So I went ahead and took that offer, but that and the other one brought $50 between the two of them on a lot that I only spent $100 on. So I'm well on my way to getting into the black on that deal. Oh gosh, here's another one. Same lot. Now I'm really getting close. $35 free shipping for Hearts of Fire by Mae Christie, a 1926 edition of another romance novel. This one I think I had listed for $39.99 or best offer. Again, at $35, it's a reasonable offer. I went ahead and took it. So now I'm at $85 gross on that lot. So I'm within $15 minus fees of making all my money back on 3 books out of about 170. So that is a win. Just so you think I don't just sell books, CDs, and DVDs, I found this Harley Davidson leather trifold wallet at a sale. I think I got $5 in it. I initially put it up at an auction just to see if it would do anything while the auctions were free. It had some watchers, but nobody put a bid in on it. So I listed it at $29.99 or best offer. I got an offer of $25 plus shipping. I own it for $5. I made 5 times my money on it. I will take that day in and day out. Real nice flip. So they're kind of interesting pieces. There's a ton of knockoff Harley stuff out there. This was actually a genuine piece. So obviously anything Harley that's official licensed merchandise is definitely worth taking a look at. This is probably the flip of the week. I mentioned previously that I'm running some promotions right now, 20, 30, and 40% off on some stuff. And I had a gentleman, they don't all show here because my phone, even though it's a really big screen, was not long enough to capture all of the issues of the magazine that this guy bought. But there were 7 in total of a magazine called the SN3 Modeler. They're all from the mid to late 1980s. I think it worked out to about $11.19 an issue. The total was $78.33 plus shipping. I own these for 8 cents a piece. So I'm into them for 56 cents and I made $78 and some change. So outstanding flip. Really, really pleased with that. Those magazines have just been a virtual gold mine for me. And they just continue to do very well. I've got a bunch of watchers on probably 40 or 50 different years worth of different types of those magazines. So they just continue to do very, very well for me. And that kind of sums up the more interesting stuff that's gone out of here in the last week. I hope you found this interesting and helpful. Let me know in the comments, again, what you think about the 2-minute tips videos being put on the kibosh. See if you can talk me out of that if you're interested. Let me know what you thought about this. Like I said, I hope everyone is staying healthy and productive. I hope your sales are going well. And with that, it's time to sell. Thanks for stopping by, guys.